Hello there. Hello, tribe. Hello. Welcome. And thank you so much for joining us tonight on our very first session this year. Welcome. Is everybody here? Please say hi. Show yourself who's here with us. Do you still need a little bit more time to join in? But yes, those who are here, just say hi. Please drop something so that we see that you are here. Okay, so apologies, with a bit of load shedding, there are technicalities, and hence we are slightly late, but we can get straight into it. Thank you for joining us once again on our Becoming Her webinar on the Communication in Love edition. I am your host, Thembi Thobela, and Becoming Her, it's a woman empowerment series. It equips women with wonderful self-mastering tools to keep them aligned with their purpose, women to become women of their own dreams. It's a true ecosystem for women that are business startups, career women with side hustles and raising families. And an extension of Becoming Her is coaching, it's mentorship sessions, and also speaking engagements. I'm not alone today. I am having our guests, and I am going to allow them to introduce themselves to you as well. And it is Zama and Kateko, and we also have Ronnie. Zama can... I'll leave the platform for Uzama and then Kateko to introduce themselves, and then Ronnie to also introduce himself. Thank you. Hi, Zama.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic. A very good evening to everyone. A very good evening to the tribe. I am so honored to be here and excited to see that it's an inaugural one for the year. So
Yep.
It's quite a privilege to make it, first out of the bed.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Zamam Kosi is my name. What do you want me to say? All the intros, or just my name is fine for now?
Say all the
Whatever
intros,
else.
then we move on. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Zamam Kosi, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a business builder. I'm a wife of 23 years, married happily for 23 years. And I have two boys. I have a 19-year-old boy turning 20 and a 17 one turning 18 this year. So I've got big boys, and communication and love is the order of the day in my life. Yep. As you can hear, whether it's in my marriage or being a parent or being a business builder as well.
Oh, yes.
I own a couple of businesses. Being a lawyer, one would say communication runs through my veins because I'm a lawyer. So I'm a lawyer, but I also run a couple of businesses, most of them within the media and entertainment industry.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's hear from Kateko.
Good evening, everyone. As introduced, my name is Nkateko Makazi, originally from Kiani, Limpopo, now based in Johannesburg. I'm an entrepreneur. By that, I'm wearing a coat of many colors. There's a lot that I venture into, but mainly the main focus of my business is manufacturing, printing, and embroidery, branding. And I'm a philanthropist. And how I came about to be that is 20 years ago, I was a drug addict. My first year in Johannesburg, I was on cocaine, ecstasy, Thai, to weed. Got caught up with the wrong crowd. I was on a fast lane on the highway to nowhere. Had a near-death experience that forced me to turn my life around. And I've got an NPO, Tigva Hope Foundation, which assists youth struggling with drug addiction and also empowering youth. Just letting them know if I can change, if I can turn my life around from being a drug addict to who I am today. You can. And yeah, communication, love communication is also my middle name because I was a pastor as well and a Bible school lecturer. So yeah, that is me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Kateko.
Thank you.
um, anyway, Ronnie was struggling a bit with the network. I'm just going to check if he's here to give his introduction. Ronnie, are you here? Hi, Ronnie. Okay. It seems like we still don't have Ronnie. He's on load shedding, so we understand these things during this time, of load shedding. These things happen. You have meetings like these, and then there are interruptions of such. But perhaps he will be able to join us, maybe not, but we understand. So just to get onto it, I'm married myself, married to my high school sweetheart, um,
Mm.
and communication. I'm also a mom as well. And I must say, my children have been my biggest teachers more than anything. And I had to learn all sorts of love languages through that,
Yeah,
husband
yeah.
and my children. And it's three of them. I'm mom to three children, girls, and each and every one of them, their love language is completely different from the other.
Mm.
It's important that we realize this with hello Lieto just joined and say evening, and saying hi to everyone. So it's one of our audiences. I just ask that anybody that joins must just say hi, so that we can acknowledge you. If you are there, just say hi. Anyway, so having said that, um, I, I I believe that as people, we actually are capable of loving and feeling loved anytime, any moment,
Mm.
but yet we have a preconceived idea about what that should look like in our lives. So much so that we end up missing it sometimes.
Mhm.
you know. And maybe
Mhm.
just before we get to what communication in love looks like to our guests, and our tribe at large, first, let me ask, maybe from you, Zama, how do you stay conscious to receive love and to reciprocate love?
I hope everyone can hear me properly because I was hearing a bit of feedback. Hence, I also switched off my mic.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
hearing that as well. I'm not sure what's happening. Hi.
okay, but we'll continue
Yeah.
if that's fine. Um, I think you were asking how I prepare myself to give love and communicate, and be able to receive it. I think for me, the first and most important thing to do for all of us, even before we look to the other, is to look within. That for
Amen.
me, it is the foundation. It's to
Mm-hmm.
do the self work, it's to do the
Mm-hmm.
inner work, because
Yeah.
every other thing that you do, whether it is loving someone else, communicating love to someone else, or can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back now. I can hear you. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Apologies for that.
no
Um,
problem.
as I was saying that I think the best is when we do the work on us first. You
Yeah.
know, do the inner work, do the reflection work, because that determines everything that you are going to do, even how you are going to respond. All of it will be informed by, you know, where you are. And at the core of that is self-awareness.
Amen.
Self-awareness is important, because you can go on and thinking that you are not being loved, or you are loved in the wrong way, or all of that. Kanti, it is looking to you. Kanti,
Reflective. Yeah.
it's more about you than it is about the other person. So I
Yeah.
would say, for me, the best thing that I have done for myself and for those that I love is to
Mm.
do the self work, so that
Wow.
Yeah.
I really am highly self aware, as well as deal with whatever issues may be my issues, but they may end up impacting those that I love.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's powerful. Thank you so much. Nkateko, what can you say? What, because all of this, it's really a conversation from the heart.
Yeah.
So let's hear from you. How can we, or what can we share to try to stay conscious and to in receiving love and to reciprocate it?
Thank you, Sister Thembi. Also, Zama is saying exactly, my sentiments as far as love is concerned. The saying, you cannot give what you don't have.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. If you're asking me a simple example, you're asking me for 100 rands. If I don't have it, I cannot give it to you. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. The best you can do is love them and be kind. And so if I don't have love, if I don't have kindness in me, I'm not able to give that to the next person. For me personally, it took brokenness for me to find wholeness in me. I went
Wow.
through a season of depression. I had hair loss, you know, um, after a breakup, and having to have to do self work, look within myself. Okay, I'm down, I'm out because of a breakup. I've got hair loss, alopecia, all of that. I'm going through therapy and all of that. But how do I get myself out of this rut? I had to find worth within me instead of blaming the outside world. I had to have a love affair first with myself. That way I will be able to give out, even if somebody comes and they're not able to give love to me the way maybe I feel I should receive love. It will not affect me because I'm content, I'm whole, I'm satisfied with me and where I'm at with my life. So
Wow.
that's how I've been approaching, love as far as love is concerned, not just for every relationship that I come across. That let me be that vessel that gives love. I cannot give what I don't have. Even if
True.
I'm not receiving it that way, I will still remain whole because I'm content. I'm satisfied with myself within myself. So yeah, the self worth goes a long way. One has to realize I'm worthy on my own. I'm whole because we come into relationships broken.
Yeah.
Now let me do work on me so that even the next person that's coming that may be broken may be mended through the wholeness that I have found within myself.
Wow. Wow. That is so powerful, ladies. It's so powerful and so true as well, because I like what you're saying when you say you can't offer what you don't have within
Yeah.
yourself, and it's gonna be very difficult also to identify it when it's staring you in the face, because you don't recognize it within yourself. So it's all about the self work as well, like Zama has said, that must have done the inside work. Um,
Yes.
I always joke with, in fact, I don't joke, but I like to make bold statements to my husband and say that, and say that sometimes, "Makuthiwa amathobela, kushiwo mina." And I sometimes say that boldly because I'm taking ownership as well of the fact that I'm not the victim of his choices. For
Right.
him to have chosen me as a wife, I also chose him to be my husband. I made that decision and I made
Yes.
that choice, and I mean, and now as I mean, Mr. Mkosi needs to know what wamkhetha insizwa zigcwele.
But you know what, Tim? Just to add on that, I did not only do that once. For me, I always say what I always say. You were saying, Uguti, you always joke. What I also say to him continuously, and for us to be aware of, is to remember that we choose each other every day.
Every day.
It's a choice we make every day,
Every
and
day.
it's a choice. Firstly, it's mine.
Yeah.
Before I have that dependency of, oh, I'm chosen, and therefore
Oh yes.
my self-worth is dependent on the fact that
Yeah.
I'm chosen.
And he chose
No, no,
you.
no.
Yeah.
I'm also
Yeah.
choosing to be here. I'm choosing to
Yeah.
be here, and we are both free to choose
Yes.
however we choose.
However we want.
Yes. Yes. Sure.
100%, 100%. I agree. And for the interest of our audience as well, hello to those who have joined. I know Cliff joined us now, and other few that were saying hi, but we had other people talking. I couldn't interrupt them. Welcome, tribe. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time here. And as we continue, so to our guest, what strategies can you share? Hi, Mrs. Zondo, welcome. What strategies can you share to communicate love that may work for others, maybe that work for you and or that you've seen work, and you can maybe share with the audience to say these are little nuggets that they can use in to communicate love.
Yeah. I would say from my side, having done the first part, which is doing that self work, and reminding yourself of that, how much you yourself are complete before the other person. If you come from that point of view, I will then say the next thing to do is to then seek to learn how the other person needs to be loved,
Oh yes.
because that at the end of the day is what is critical, because oftentimes we end up loving people the way we want to be loved
Right.
and
Yes.
miss to love people the way they need to be loved and the way they want to be loved. Because if we love people the way we want to be loved, which may be different from the way they want to be loved, we may end up missing each other, and both of us
Oh
feeling that
yes.
we are not
Frustrated. Mm.
feeling frustrated and feeling that
Yeah.
we are not loving each other, and yet we
Yeah.
are projecting the way we want to be loved
Yes.
unto them. So I would say be a student of the one whom you love, the one
Yeah.
whom you want to communicate love.
Yeah.
Be a
True.
student. Have an attitude of wanting to learn and wanting to understand, as opposed to coming from the point of view that, oh yeah, no, I already know. I've been married to my husband 23
Oh
years. We've been together for 30.
yeah.
We met in 1991. And to this day, we are a student of each other, because also we evolve. And so
A
we live
hundred
rooms
percent. Yeah.
of us evolving, and the way that we need to be loved evolving with time, with circumstances, with the seasons of our lives, with where we are, with the different things. So remain a student of the one whom you love.
100%. I totally agree. We change over time. I mean, like I said, married to my high school sweetheart, I look at him growing bold and I'm thinking, okay, since then, so he's definitely not the same guy I met so many years ago. And the best thing we
Yeah,
can do is to hold space for our loved
yeah,
ones to evolve and to become.
yeah.
Nkateko, what can you share with us and our audience on this one? In
Okay.
yeah.
For me, what I can say, what has worked for me is having to learn to manage my expectations.
Oh wow.
Not getting, yeah, not getting into a relationship with expectations that, will later be, find me in a place of disappointment, hence going even into depression. And it took the very ex that, got me into the depression state to tell me to say, Nkateko, you need to understand, not everyone is like you. And by that, he's actually telling me to say, what you are giving and what you think you should be getting will not always be like that. So my advice is manage your expectations. And in managing your expectation, it's me also getting to know what my love language is. So
Yeah.
in my love language, yes. Am I that, yes, because of my personality, but am I given from a place of brokenness or am I given from a place of wholeness? Because to a
Okay.
great extent, the brokenness that we go through, through life can get you to a place of desperation. And in the desperation, you even miss your true self, that in the relationships you over compromise,
Oof.
overcompensate, you
Oof.
know. I'm not yet married. I've had 13 years of, being single, being celibate, focusing and working on myself. And through all of that is where I've learned, no, it's what I am seeking, what I'm looking for on the outside is actually on the inside of me. And the
Wow.
more I am loving myself, the more I'm walking around confident, not allowing my past to define me, is the more I'm finding, my footing, the more I'm
Yeah.
finding my grounding, my true
Oh yes.
identity. And
Mm,
yes, and that is the best gift I could have given to myself.
mm, wow.
Yeah.
Shoo. These are real golden nuggets. You ladies are dropping gems here. You are both dropping gems here. To our tribe, if you have any contribution, please just type it there on the chat box. Let's engage and hear from yourselves. Whether you have a question or a contribution to the conversation, you are welcome to do so. But just to add on what you said, both of you ladies, I will tell you that I got a taste of this communication, of this conversation, likely some years back. Because one thing is for sure, if you are committed to a cause, you need to invest onto that,
Yeah.
and I do invest in my love with my husband. I do invest in my marriage and in myself as well. And I remember back then, one of the speakers said, you know what, you you must do an assessment and check what you are married to. What assess if you are married to a monkey, always make sure that bananas there, If Shadenenja, make sure that you've got the bones there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so that and that will be, if you pick the bananas for the monkey, for an example, it's the worst examples. Just don't take it personal, but it's what he said, and I
Right.
made sense.
Yeah.
That will be your love language to your monkey, keeping the
Right.
bananas. you know. And I had to reflect on that moment, on me, to say, oh, so who am I? And how am I communicating my needs so that my love language is met?
Mm.
And I also had to recognize right at that moment that, oh, I have to now assess, who am I married to, or what am I married to? And be open to expressing that communication and expressing that love intentionally so that it is
Right.
received. you know
Right.
and
Right.
that had just helped me a whole lot to become a better lover. I mean, you
Mm.
need to invest in your love so much that it doesn't matter what happens. You hear people saying it will end up in tears, and I'm sure other people have heard this, but make sure that by the time it gets to that, you know that you were the best lover there was.
Yes.
If anything, the other person is missing out on the great lover that you were, and yeah, from that moment, I knew that I am a library. I'm a walking library. I love books. I love, how library is. It's full of books and it's silent and
Yeah.
all of that. And I found myself that, oh, Mina, I'm the library. So I was able,
Yeah.
just that realization helped me to seek the right kind of support from my partner.
Mm.
And sometimes we go on and mock, and you know how, as ladies, when we feel misunderstood, I'll speak for ladies
Mm.
because I don't know about guys. When we feel misunderstood, it's very easy to just mop around when you have a long face and, like, just because he doesn't get it, and you wish like he can get it, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
So to our audience and to our tribe, please open up, open your mouth and talk, and tell the other person how you would like to be supported, and
Yeah.
that will give them an opportunity to also open up that conversation from their part to say, okay, this is how I like to be supported, and this is how I like
Yes.
to be loved. But
Yes.
with that said, maybe what are the hindrances in love that our audience can look out for, that can be a hindrance to reciprocating, or just to receiving love, or even identifying that this is love? Because I find that sometimes you've got to train yourself to spot love, like you were saying, that it needs to come from the inside, then it's gonna be easier to spot it. But what are the hindrances? Because sometimes they are not so obvious to spot.
Yeah. I would say from my side, one of the hindrances I think have been mentioned, and it is expectations.
Oh, yes.
The expectations that the other party has, I think, can be a hindrance to receiving love, because they have particular grand
Yep.
expectations. Their love for them is a Range Rover wrapped in a red bow, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
and
True.
and when the partner, yeah, now, his love is being present and being committed and being honest and
Yeah.
and
Mm.
so on, you know.
Yeah.
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 So you find that the expectations are not aligned. But also, I think another hindrance can be pride and self-righteousness.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
Self-righteousness can get in the way of
Mm.
receiving love and giving love. When
Mm.
one party feels that they are the know-it-all, you know,
Mm.
they feel
Yep. Yep.
self-righteous in this relationship. They
Mm.
feel, you know
Mm.
what, I'm the one doing the most. I'm the one,
Yeah.
I'm the better one of the two, etc.,
Mm,
etc., and therefore,
mm,
actually, I'm
Yeah.
doing him a favor
Favor.
by,
Yeah.
yeah,
mm.
you know, and not being conscious and owning your own, that you are also human, that you're also
Yeah.
fallible. And
Yes.
most of the time it can be that us as ladies, we can easily
Mm,
fall into this trap because
mm,
some of our inadequacies are
Yeah.
often not
mm,
articulated by the other party. you know
mm,
that
Yeah.
sometimes, sometimes they can just keep silent and not talk and not mention them, but in fact,
mm,
we also have things that irritate them.
mm,
There are things that irritate them, but you know what, they just,
mm,
sit through them
Yeah.
and don't. And because maybe sometimes they don't say those things that irritate them, or they don't articulate them in the
Properly.
way that when you expect, or they're not as articulate and as clear with, okay, this exactly, they
Yes.
may not have the
Yeah.
language of
Yeah.
mm,
articulating. And then we become
mm,
all self-rushers to think, Tina, we are perfect, and it's the other
mm,
person who is
mm,
Yes.
who needs to work on themselves.
On
And
themselves.
therefore we
mm,
take that high moral ground, which
mm.
then will make you to miss out on giving and receiving love, because you are holding this self-righteous high moral
Yeah.
ground posture.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
yeah,
Yeah. Because sometimes you have to be matured enough to look at these things with an open mind, you know,
yeah,
and realize that we all come imperfect to the party.
mm,
Own up
yeah,
to
yes,
that. It also goes back to, I guess it goes back to the inside work that you were talking about earlier. That once
yeah,
that is, then you will be able to know where you come short, and be open to maybe to learning, and be open to hearing what the other party needs. But Nkateko, what's your take on this?
Um, what I feel is that I'm currently in a serious relationship with someone that I crave within my husband, and what
Wow,
I'm,
yes,
it's about time.
yes, yes. You are ready.
I'm ready. 39 years. I mean, yay! Come on now. What I'm seeing as a hindrance, I'm grateful that this person is someone that views life the way I do, has, does a lot of inside work,
Oh,
that
nice.
coming together, is complementary. However, because he's a divorcee, hindrance that I'm seeing is unhealed hurts, you know, and unresolved issues.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
in as much as we've done, background work, inside work, work on self, there's still those underlying issues, unhealed hurts that may be that become triggers sometimes. And
mm,
so one needs to be very conscious and very aware, like Mrs. Zama was saying, about self-awareness, being conscious
yeah.
to say, am I reacting or am I responding? And if I'm reacting, is it because this is a trigger because of unhealed hurts or unresolved issues? And when you love someone, I was saying to him, because I love him and I want to work things out, I'm prepared to hold his hand and say, "You're not my enemy. We're going to fight this enemy
Oh,
that we
yes.
both have. You know, we have a common enemy and it cannot be you. I'm going to swallow my pride. Like she
Wow.
was saying, one of the hindrances is our ego.
Oh,
I'm not
yes.
going to have an ego so big that it's going to destroy what I am building. You
Oh, yes.
are, in as much as you are working so hard to make sure that you are whole, you are satisfied, you come as a complete person, you've got unresolved issues, you've got unhealed hurts. What is going to help me is seeing a small boy in him yearning for love. and him seeing a small girl in me yearning for love. That way we'll be able to work together. Big a man as he is, big a lady as I am, there's a small girl in me yearning and crying for love. So if I can choose to overlook, um, pride, ego, and just say, you know what, this
That's
person, as much as I've got unresolved issues, that I'm still working on, as much as I've got unhealed hurts, he also does. He's not exempted from that. So that is my number one, the one thing that I see as a hindrance. And the other thing is, judging our relationships based on worldly standards, and those worldly standards are not necessarily tested. A lot of, someone once said, Beyonce will say, "Who runs the world? Girls," and all of that. But behind closed doors, do you know she's not a feminist? That's why her marriage has come to it. That's a stupid example, but it spoke to me. Like, why should I allow what someone says about marriage or about relationships, make me make a decision about my relationship? Let me not allow worldly standards to come now and influence me in my decision. I don't know what mission, what agenda this person is pushing as they're saying what they're saying. Now I want to follow suit in that and become part of the statistics of divorce statistics or whatever, relationship. People are saying, "Oh, I'm Jolo, against that." No, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of relationships not working. I want to get married and stay married.
wow.
So I will not allow external influences to influence me. I'm going to hold my partner's hand and make sure we make it work together.
Sure. That is so big. Tribe, I hope you are really taking down and taking the information that's being shared here, because that is very big in Kateko. I think we come as people, there is an area of healing to each and every one of us, in when we really want to be successful in communication, in love, and in love in general, because you find people, a lot of us would be like, I want to heal. And then when they attempt to, then they let go of that particular relationship. And what I've seen around is that healing and healing in love itself cannot happen in isolation.
Yep.
How many people go on to that USA, where in India somewhere, where you go and heal and go into a journey, and
Yeah.
and you find someone else. So you break up with the one partner, you go to the other partner, and there will always be those triggers. And it's the same triggers that are going to make you to leave the other partner that you've newly found and start another relationship. So through the same relationship, I believe that you can actually find a better healing and alignment, and there's better progress there, because
Mm.
over time nothing is perfect, and it's not supposed to be perfect. It's always a trial and error,
Yeah.
but you be open to that you will trial together, and errors will happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but just in terms of hindrances, what's there to be said about anxiety in love? Because just to bring it up, there's also the part where there's an anxiety in love. And I
Yeah.
was just about 2 weeks ago, and I said I'll mention this on this session today, where I saw this lady say that, what did she say? She said that she or her boyfriend didn't speak to her for good 2 days, and then she was calling and calling, and the boyfriend didn't answer, and no responses. So she ended up designing a memorial service post of herself, and blocking everyone on WhatsApp, and leaving just the boyfriend to be able to view that. And then, just so she can get the attention of this individual,
mm,
boyfriend. So,
mm.
and you hear also other people will tell you other stories, horrific stories of,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, but, and you hear sometimes people will say, oh, love will make you do crazy things. I just want
Mm,
to hear from you, and also just add in there about love, anxiety in love. It's something that is there.
Yeah.
It's something that is,
mm,
it doesn't make you a
mm,
bad person that you
mm,
got anxiety in love. It just
mm,
requires you to be aware that this
mm,
right now I'm anxious, and, yeah,
mm,
anxiety is hitting me, and it's hitting me hard, and you will see it from your control tactics. You'll be starting to trying to control, and
mm,
that thing that just
mm,
makes you not be able to breathe.
mm.
Real
Yeah.
Yes.
say you are not a bad person. Be aware of it. Then you are able to address it. But I will leave it to Ungateko and Usizama to maybe share some golden nuggets. Maybe all of us have gone through it at some stages in our
Mm,
relationship, before being married or in our marriages. Um,
mm.
how can we? What is there to be said about anxiety in love?
You want to start, Katego?
Ooh, okay. Um, Not an easy one for me. What I can say is I've had to learn and understand that I cannot force the next person to be someone they don't want to be.
Yeah.
And I should not allow their actions to dictate to me in any way. Hard as it is, because, you, for example, you live with this person as your husband every single day. Now, how do I manage anxiety in me? It goes back to the self work. I've got a love affair with myself. And with the love affair that I have with myself, whatever is on the outside, I don't allow it to affect me. Not to say that I will not react, I will react. But in my reaction, how long am I going to allow that reaction? I think it's easy. The reason why I said it's not an easy one for me is because I've had to make this decision after a harsh breakup. I had a boyfriend that was in prison and I was visiting for over a year. I hadn't seen him for 13 years. I went to now find him because I felt I need to have closure. That was me then. I need to have closure. We didn't even break up. We just had an abrupt, disconnection. And I hear he's in prison. I find him. When I find him there, he's like, "Oh, you think you brought yourself here? God brought you here." Now it's just Kathy. I'm like this. I'm thinking he's saying everything that I want him to say. For a year and a half, every weekend I'm visiting him. I squandered all my savings on him. Every weekend I'm buying groceries because he doesn't like prison food. Fast forward, yeah. Fast forward a month before he's released from prison, he just goes MIA. He goes MIA. Okay, I'm thinking maybe, there was a raid in the prison, his phone was taken. No, guy is coming out. And he had told me, this is after 13 years of me keeping myself, on the straight and narrow. I said, no, you're going to be my wife. I'm going to come out of prison, you're going to be my wife. Next thing I hear on TV, guy is married. Wow. So you are married. Lost my hair. Bring them back. Like, this is, for me, this is
Yeah.
a miracle. People that know me, they know me to have a bold head. Picture on the poster, That was during my season of depression and hair loss and hair loss. The very same month I found out that guy is out of prison and is married. And from that, I had to give you that background for you to understand. I've had to learn because I had now had to spend money, thousands, to get my hair back. I had to
Sure.
spend money on therapy. So I've learned that I cannot allow Umanza Sipo to disrupt my peace. I can react because I'm human. It hurts. It's painful. But I will not allow it to eat me up so much because I've got a love affair with myself. I usually say, even if you have to do it limping, get up and go after the life that you are destined to live. I had to pick myself up, dust myself off. This is somebody else's son.
Sure.
He's got his own choices. I've got my choices. In the case of
True.
marriage, it's even worse. You've got children looking up to you. Why would I want my anxiety to disrupt these children? No, I'm going to be whole. I'm going to make sure I stay sane for my sake and for the sake of those that are looking up to me. I've got an NPO. I had people looking up to me because
Yeah.
I have motivational. I go to prisons, I will go to schools and have motivational talk. How do I do that in that state? Can't. Now, am I going to abandon my purpose because of this person that has chosen to be the way they are, to affect my space, to affect my life? No. There's a bigger purpose, there's a bigger mission in life, more than what is affecting you now. I cannot force you to be somebody you don't want to be. I cannot force you to love me. I cannot force you to not have another girlfriend or another whatever, well and good. I came
Yes.
here alone. I'm gonna go alone.
Ah, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that the way that you've ended, Kateko, because that is so true. At the end of the day, you love someone, but
Yeah.
you are you. And you've got to hold that assurance that you are complete. That's why
Yeah.
I personally, and I'm speaking just for myself, I'm not a fan of the term that my partner completes me because,
It's
Same.
not true.
No.
with all due respect,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no. It's
Yeah.
God has completed me. I'm fearfully and wonderfully
And
made and
wonderfully
was
made.
woven even before I was formed in my mother's womb by
Yeah.
God. That's who I am. Sihlangana la endleleni mina nje.
Yeah.
Nalapha.
Exactly.
So,
Semphelele.
Yeah.
you know, so I think for me, what I just have to say around the whole topic of fear is that there is also the other side that it can be self-inflicted, that you are it's a movie that is playing in
Yeah.
your head, in your head.
Yeah.
Hence,
Yeah.
from what you've said, Kadeo, that the solution is with you. The solution is definitely with you, whatever the other person is doing. But also, you can be in a situation where you are the partner that is
Yeah.
creating scenarios
In
in
your
your
head.
head
Mhm.
simply
Very
because
true.
of your own insecurities, your own
Yeah.
fears, your own
Yeah.
unresolved issues, and so
Mm.
you are you are coming up with all sorts of scenarios. I mean, I know
Mhm.
I was molested as a child, so I really come through a background of having gone through molestation and sexual abuse,
Yeah.
and so
Mm.
receiving love for me,
Yeah.
you know, is not doesn't come naturally, because
Yeah.
Sure.
having recovered from that and still
Yeah.
having to deal with triggers around that, you can
Mm.
easily just close up, and you can
Yeah.
easily just reject before you are rejected,
Very
because you
true.
you're just always playing scenarios of potential rejection in your head, you know,
Exactly.
and because you may still have traces of thinking that when someone is coming close to you, in fact, that is going to be harmful to you.
Yes.
So if you have not worked that out, or you still have traces of being potentially triggered, as soon as
Yeah.
someone becomes too loving, as soon as someone
Yeah.
becomes too cuddly
You're
with you, you're like,
suspicious.
"Ooh, I'm about to get hurt here. I'm about to get hurt. So you know what? Let me just close off before I actually get hurt." And that
Yeah.
fear, that anxiety does more work in
That.
driving the other person
Sure.
away than even they may be aware of. They may not be aware of that. And all of that is just you and your baggage, not in a bad way, but I mean your things that you have to deal with and confront and so on. And so I just wanted to add that it can also be just on the other side, that it is just about you as the person and what you've been through and what you may still be working through, and therefore the fears, the anxieties are playing out in your head more than they are actually coming from the other person.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure. That is so big. Um, it is so big, and I think we really went in deep, and we've given it the best that we can. Sorry, I need to just take this call. And to our audience, if you have any questions to our guests, to myself, or anything you wish to contribute to this, please type in the chat box. But I just want to say that, taking from what our guests have shared tonight, it's all the little bricks that we can build ourselves up. Take whatever you can take, and build yourself up from where you are and forward you go. There's no room for pity party and forming. No, we are here to all learn and become better people. But there's, if you don't take anything at all out of this session, please take this one thing and take it with you. That which is, at some point, we need to realize that the only consistent thing in all our relationships is us. A new or different relationship is not always going to be the answer. Because we are likely to bring, old patterns into the new dynamics. So we can only rely and depend on ourselves and remain consistent. We are the only consistent as individuals. And that's the thing that I want you to take out of this. If you don't take anything out, and a lot was shared, and I believe it's actually golden gems. Here's a comment: anxiety. However, how does one address issues that cause an anxiety in love without sounding insecure? Because I have realized that there's a fine line between anxiety and insecurity. Cotliff is asking. There's a fine line between insecurity and anxiety. So how do you address the two that address the anxiety and not that you are insecure? Any of you can take that one up?
I would say, Nina, that they are the sides of the same. They're not even two sides of the same coin, in my view. They are the same side. And different stages what may start as insecurity escalates to anxiety. So in my view, I don't think there are two different things, because I think it's different levels of the same thing in my view. And so I think what we've shared about doing the same work, doing the inner work, doing the personal work, doing the work on yourself will help you to get a handle of your insecurities, which may lead to anxiety. So and so I think it's all you, and I think neither are healthy for a relationship. In my view.
Very true. I echo your words, Susanna. It goes back to, and insecurity comes from brokenness. And I used to say for the longest time that it's my partner's responsibility or my responsibility once I've spotted an insecurity in a relationship to make sure that the person feels secure, to cover up or erase that insecurity that the person has. However, over time, working on myself, and all of that, I've come to realize it all boils down to me. I may have insecurities, like you were saying. As a child, I was, raped. As a child, I was bullied because of my complexion, all of that. Now I'm going to go with that brokenness into a relationship. I'm in pieces. How do I expect to make this work when I'm in shatters? No, work on myself. That is my past. It does not define who I am now. There's nothing I would change, as far as my past is concerned. Whatever incidences that have happened that have brought insecurity, that have brought, uh, anxiety and whatever, because they've helped me to become a better person. I've worked through those, doing self work. No, okay, now what is coming here is a reaction. Am I supposed to react or am I supposed to respond? I choose to respond. And it's daily, day by day. Like Tizama said earlier, you make a choice daily to choose your partner. You make a choice daily to choose you. I choose me. I'm going to address these issues, overlooking insecurity, overlooking anxiety, because I'm working at becoming a better version of myself than I was yesterday. And I'm intentional about it.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think I would be able to answer that. It makes such perfect sense. It makes perfect sense that that insecurity, it's already it already tells you that there's an inside work that needs to happen. It starts as an insecurity. And what I want to convince our tribe today is that, guys, it doesn't make you a bad person. You are human. It's perfectly fine. You are human, and the only thing you can do is, now that you are aware, you need to choose better, and do better. And as we are drawing closer to closing, I just want to say thank you to everyone. If you have any questions that you want to bring forth quickly before I guess leave and we end the session, please start them through. And in the meantime, I'll just to announce that thank you for your presence to our tribe, and we highly appreciate your presence. And I would like to introduce our coaching services, that if you are looking to achieve your goals and you want to start your journey on personal development, and you have no idea maybe how to start, we can help you with that. Personally, I've navigated through my personal life using tools that have been very beneficial for me, whether it's career development, growth, or health and wellness. Have a well-packed 12 weeks where we help you making the changes that you see. So we offer that coaching. We offer it as well, and consultation. If you need more information, please send an email to bookings at Thembi Thobela, and we'll reach to you. And while there's no contribution, I think it's safe to say to our guests, Zama, thank you so much for coming to the conversation. Your participation has been received and appreciated. This being our first show, I want to everybody, you are my tribe, you are my community. In some way, I have been a gift to you. And thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.